We've got plenty more to be excited about in week 5. Let's get to some of our biggest storylines here. What are you going with first?
Well, probably the biggest injury of this past week, Malik Nabers. And now we're going to figure out who's stepping up without Nabers and with Jackson Dart under center. Wan'Dale Robinson projected for 52.0 receiving yards this week. Darius Slayton projected for 45.9, so pretty similar there. Both are plus money for 50-plus receiving yards, which I think I'm going to be looking at something here. The Saints have allowed multiple 50-yard receivers in 2 games with 70-plus, 80-plus, and 90-plus yard performances mixed in there for the top guys. With a full week of prep with Jackson Dart, you definitely want to like the output for Robinson and Slayton in a game like this against the Saints defense. That's nothing particularly special. 0-4 team. The Giants are 1-3. Want to make a statement here, I think, with their young core. Move beyond, or rather build on that win against the Chargers. So I think you're going to see them give Jackson Dart some keys to the offense here. See what he can do. Bring out the best in these 2 guys without Malik Nabers. The Giants probably know this is a lost season, but they don't want it to have that air. You know, they want to show that these rookies are something. They want to give the fans hope for the future. And the way to do that is by pushing the ball, letting Jackson Dart show what he's capable of. So I think there's some really interesting ladder opportunities here with these receivers. We've seen Wan'Dale Robinson make huge plays this year already. Slayton too. Both were against the Cowboys, of course, but there's no reason why either of these guys shouldn't find some success in a fairly soft matchup on Sunday.
I like it. Yeah, I love Dart. I also love Scadaboo. And as a duo, those guys are just wired the same way. It's like they're gamers and they're kind of psychos. They would rather lower their shoulder. And I don't know. Weird enough, I think they're going to elevate each other as a pair the more that's put on their plate, just out of this excited rookie enthusiastic energy. How good it'll actually yield results for the Giants, I don't know, but I think there could be fantasy value there for sure. And at bare minimum, maybe some fun ways to bet player props for those 2, even without Malik Nabers in the lineup. I'll jump in with the storyline here. I have my eyes on the Cleveland quarterback situation. And if you don't mind, Dave, I'd love to pantomime in honor of Shedeur Sanders for a moment here. Dillon Gabriel is going to be really, really good. Or is he? I don't really know. I think Dillon Gabriel thinks he's going to be. He's a unique cat. And I watched a lot of Dillon Gabriel in college. He was at a couple different programs that had very, very talented rosters around him. For lack of a better way to describe it, I think he's a system quarterback. And if there's any system in NFL history that's been treacherous for quarterbacks, welcome to Cleveland. Welcome to Cleveland, not in America for your first career start. It's a crazy moment, Dave. I can't believe they're doing this. Can you?
It feels pretty rough. I think I would have just waited a week. I have no problem with the switch from Flacco. I think we all knew that was coming, but you're really throwing this kid out on the international stage for his first NFL action. It's pretty intense. I feel for him, and I think he's going to hopefully want to rise to the occasion, and maybe we'll see some big stuff. Or he's going to, lights were brighter than expected and might not be a great outing in London town.
Against a Vikings defense that is good. We saw what the Vikings defense did to Jake Browning a couple weeks ago. If you're not ready, they'll take advantage fully. So I'm a little scared for Dillon. I wouldn't consider myself a Gabriel fan. And from watching him in college, he has some of that Russell Wilson aura to him of I'll tell anyone I can how good of a leader I am. Whereas some of his teammates kind of side eye him a little bit, what's going on here. I don't know that he's the rah-rah guy he thinks he is. Now, not only is he facing a tough defense in a terrible, environment, there's no home crowd or anything behind him. He also doesn't have Tillman, one of the best targets here. And Isaiah Bond will probably step forward and make some plays. I like Bond as a talent. Jerry Jeudy is our projected highest receiving threat in this game. So we're going to find out one way or another what Dillon Gabriel is made of. This is very conspiracy theory oriented, but this is what you get when Greg Waddell hosts a podcast. I think there's a chance that Cleveland wants this to go south, so they have a reason to go to Shedeur Sanders. as crazy as that sounds, if you wanted Dillon Gabriel to be great, this is not the time to unveil Dillon Gabriel. And we'll see if I'm right as the weeks progress here, Dave.
It does feel a little strange that they would enter the season knowing what Joe Flacco is and then move to the rookie after 4 games when he did exactly what you probably expected Joe Flacco would do. So it's kind of a weird move. Wouldn't really expect much else from the Browns.
Yeah, there's always something with that franchise. You've got another injury-based situation here to keep an eye on.
Yeah, so Emari Demercado may be stepping in as the RB1. We'll talk about this, but Trey Benson's time in Arizona was fleeting as he hits IR almost immediately after getting his first work as the RB1. Now, Demercado barely touched the ball in that game. 2 carries for 8 yards, 2 receptions for 13 yards, and a touchdown, which had come in clutch time, last one of the game. Behind him on the depth chart is former Jet Michael Carter, who has 1 total carry this season, came last week. And another former Jet, Bam Knight, is behind him, who's gotten no work. You would assume that it's Demercado, given his history with the team, his previous flashes. We talked about how he's actually a very productive runner on yards per carry over not a small sample size. But interestingly, the Dimers model projects Michael Carter to lead this backfield with 49.6 yards and a 37.1% TD probability to Amari's 39.3 yards and 33.6% anytime TD. And unsurprisingly, Bam Knight checking in as a non-factor at 4.2 projected rushing yards. It will be very interesting to see these lines when they go up. I did not see anything before this show. I'm actually going to take a quick look right now in case we're missing something and we could find a little more insight here. But I think we're probably just not going to see a lot of favorable betting opportunities based on these guys. Yeah, there's nothing. That's actually interesting. So there's no rush yards, no rushing and receiving, no over-under, no alternates. However, they have Michael Carter here for longest rush yards as the only Cardinals running back available for that at 13, over-under 13.5. He took his lone carry for 1 yard this season. So make of that what you will. This is a Titans defense that's not very inspiring. But from a wagering perspective, I'm probably not touching this unless I see a really, really appealing line on like 40, 50 yards for Michael Carter. As we said, we do project him for 49.6. So it could be worth a look if you're getting something favorable, but it's not something I'm going to touch at like plus 110 or something like that. I want to see some really good plus money value because you have no idea how this running back committee will be deployed. And if you got these guys in fantasy, I'm just sorry for you.
Yeah. Just stay away from the Arizona backfield if you have the choice at this point for sure. But our Demercado, I don't know, the shift there has been fascinating because a couple of weeks ago we were like all over him as a big play potential guy, even like a sneaky ladder play as there were concerns after James Conner went down, and just hasn't gone that way. Like there was that one game we thought he'd break out and he was totally uninvolved. So it does seem clear at this point they don't want to use Emari Demercado at all if possible. And it could open the door for Carter, but I'd like to sit back and see what happens this week before making any sweeping judgments. I got one more running back situation I'm keeping an eye on here, and it's in Houston. Woody Marks was pretty awesome last week after a quiet first 3 games where he combined for 12 carries and 3 targets. He had 17 carries, 4 receptions on 5 targets for 119 total yards and 2 touchdowns last week. Now, look, it was against the Titans who, let's be clear, are terrible, 26-0 win. So I don't know how much Houston, I don't know who they deployed in that game. Is that going to matter against more quality opponents? We'll see. But the eye test would say Woody Marks should be here to stay, even if it's not formally announced yet. 3 straight games now with over 4 yards per carry. He's just been productive every time they put the football in his hands. And our model has pretty much a split for yards here between Woody Marks and Nick Chubb, both right around 40 as their projected yard marker here. However, Marks has a significant leap here for touchdown percentage. He has a 38.7% chance of an anytime touchdown, whereas Nick Chubb only 31% for this week. So could be a sign of things to come as Woody Marks continues to for no pun intended, make his mark on the Houston backfield. Would remind you, Baltimore is the matchup this week. They've been gashed on the ground, 141 yards a game. My Detroit Lions just fed Jahmyr Gibbs at will a couple weeks ago. I think this could be a big game for both Houston backs, but if you're looking for one to back, I like Woody Marks to find the end zone over Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I definitely think Woody Marks is going to have the volume and the production, but I don't know, maybe both for a touchdown. I'd be curious to see what that pays out. Yeah, just when you're in a rushing smash spot, it usually just bodes well for everybody because it means they're going to find holes and they won't be able to tackle them, and they'll move that ball with little effort.
Yep, exactly.